Executive Director's Message by Donald D. Overton, Jr. A photo accompanies this issue's Executive Director's Message. It is the usual thumbnail image rendition of Don Overton with a faint smile. The picture is similar to that of Jim Vale, previously mentioned, with the same BVA shirt and the same image background. Once again, there is no caption with the photo. Don's message starts with the following. Every year, the cold winter melts away and spring brings a new beginning. New beginnings are never easy, but they are unique opportunities for a fresh start and all the wonderful possibilities new beginnings bring. I often wonder what it was like on March 28, 1945, when approximately 100 war-blinded soldiers from World War II founded BVA. Although our association has continually evolved over the preceding 77 years, it remains the only national VSO chartered by the United States Congress and exclusively dedicated to assisting America's blinded veterans and their families. Our congressional charter designates the organization as the official advocate and representative for all blinded veterans before the executive and legislative branches of government. Throughout our 77-year history, BVA has successfully carried out this important function while at the same time contributing meaningfully to making life better for thousands of individual blinded veterans across the country. Since the organization's early beginning, BVA has worked tirelessly with the current cabinet-level VA to assure top-quality, comprehensive medical and rehabilitative services for blinded veterans. When the U.S. Army discontinued its blind rehabilitation services for the war-blind at the end of World War II, BVA played an instrumental role in persuading VA to assume the responsibility for their care and rehabilitation. As early as 1947, BVA adopted resolutions in convention assembled calling for the establishment of a comprehensive residential blind rehabilitation center, BRC. The facility would assist blinded veterans in their adjustments to vision loss and the acquisition of adaptive skills. Due in large measure to BVA's efforts, the first BRC opened its doors on July 4, 1948. As the numbers of war-blinded veterans increased with the onset of the Korean and Vietnam Wars, BVA recommended that VA expand the number of BRCs nationally. Today, there are 13 comprehensive residential BRCs across the VA healthcare system. As BRC programs grew and evolved, BVA persuaded Congress and VA to expand eligibility for blind rehabilitation services to veterans whose blindness was not the result of their military service. Thousands of blinded veterans have received rehabilitation assistance because of this achievement. BVA also played an instrumental role in the establishment of the Visual Impairment Service Team, VIST, program, recognizing the isolating effects of blindness and the fact that blinded veterans were not accessing all the benefits and services for which they were eligible. The association participated in a pilot outreach program in 1967. The purpose of the program was to identify eligible veterans and encourage them to take full advantage of VA benefits and services. The key professional staff person on the VIST was the VIST coordinator. In the early years, this position was only part-time. BVA quickly recognized that a part-time VST coordinator was not adequate to coordinate all the services required by blinded veterans and urged VA to make these positions full-time. VA responded by establishing 6 full-time VIST coordinator positions in 1978. BVA persisted in advocating for additional full-time positions and convinced Congress to provide the funding for such. Dating back to 1947, BVA has continuously petitioned BA to provide outpatient blind rehabilitation services. The organization was successful in convincing Congress to earmark $5 million in the 1995 fiscal year VA appropriation for Blind Rehabilitation Service, BRS. These dollars enabled BRS to establish 15 blind rehabilitation outpatient specialists, BROS, positions. Today, that number has grown to more than 100 full-time positions. In addition, BVA has influenced legislation that provided the means by which a student preparing to become a BROS would be included in the VA Scholarship Assistance Program if qualified. Additionally, VA BRS provided the necessary resources from the $5 million to establish Computer Access Training Sections, CATS, at the 5 largest BRCs. Computer access training is now provided at all 13 BRCs. Eligible veterans also receive appropriate computer equipment to accomplish their stated goals. BVA, along with other VSOs, also convinced Congress to amend federal law expanding eligibility for VA health care. A significant highlight of this legislation was language that provided VA with the authority, for the first time, to provide guide dog benefits and adaptive vision technology to veterans whose blindness is not service-connected. As an active member and supporter of the Visual Impairment Advisory Board, VIAB, established by the Undersecretary for Health, then Executive Director Tom Miller, recommended that VA implement a full continuum of vision rehabilitation services and care. The adoption of this recommendation was a major achievement. In January 2007, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs approved such a continuum and committed $40 million over 3 years. VA subsequently established 9 new vision impairment services in outpatient rehabilitation (VISOR) clinics for low vision veterans across the Veterans Healthcare System. As you can see, BVA takes advantage of every opportunity to present the special needs of America's blinded veterans before policymakers at all levels of government. Therefore, the greater the number of members of the association, the louder the voice. Just as we welcomed our non-service-connected brothers and sisters to BVA, we should welcome our low-vision brothers and sisters home as well. Thanks to your advocacy, low-vision veterans are receiving services from the same VA BRS staff as you and I. They are participating in VIST support groups, attending BRCs, and excited by the possibility of a new beginning, the opportunity to join the rich history behind the motto, Blinded Veterans, helping blinded veterans and their families.